Well, I've made it back down here this morning. Cloudy skies, raindrops falling, more on the way. I think we're gonna be able to safely burn today. It's gonna be windy, but I think the wind's gonna be blowing in that direction, so I don't really think it matters too much. As long as it wets down everything real good, I'm gonna get all that set on fire and then see how it looks. Might come down here and set that other pile on fire, and that will be all of the burn piles burnt. So I'm gonna cheat a little bit on my fire. I got what's left of this old burn pile still kind of burning away, even though it's been a week and a half now. I'm gonna pull out some of the chunks of wood and throw them over here in this pile and see if they'll start back up. The rain should be here in about 30-45 minutes. I don't want it to get too big because everything is very dry down here and it's going to be very windy. And see if I can get a little fire started that way. When it does start raining, I can just grab some of that and track it over there to my next pile and very easily set it on fire, because I'll have some nice hot coals and burning logs right here. As long as this catches up before it starts pouring down rain, which I think it will. Normally you stir these old ash piles around, they'll flare back up pretty quickly. Still trying to figure out which way the wind's blowing. It kind of goes this way and then that way, and I think once the storm gets here, it'll kind of have a more defined direction. Oh, I see flames. I don't think it's going to take too long for that to catch up. I'm probably going to go work. I got a little more clearing to do over there. I might go get started on before it starts pouring down rain, and this should kind of just take care of itself right here. Just a little pile to get the fire going easily, because I don't want to start that one until it does rain, just because I know it's going to take off very fast and it's not safe conditions to burn it just yet. Somebody said that stuff will catch on fire wet, but I'm going to tell you what's true. It has a whole lot less likely chance of catching on fire when it's wet than when it's dry with a 10-mile-an-hour wind, because it's going to be very windy today. But there's literally nothing in that direction for a long way, so if I send some smoke signals down that way, I'm really not too worried about it. Let's see if I can grab that piece that's burning. It'll get back going, especially that piece right there that's glowing. You just kind of grab that, lay that over here, and once it falls down in the pile, it'll normally catch it back on fire. Grab a couple little dry things, some roots, down in the dirt. Without the dirt normally helps. Something should be burning there pretty soon if I didn't just smother it with that. I'm just going to rake this around a little bit more, because as you can tell, it's already catching back on fire. Just getting some air to it. Oh, dusty. Alright, well hopefully that'll catch back up, and we'll have a fire here shortly. Well, that should carry right on through that pile and hold it till the rain gets here in about 20 or 30 minutes. If not, I got some more chunks of wood to lay on there. I'm gonna go back over here. There's a little spot I need to clear. See if I can get that knocked out before it rains. Well, it looks like the rain is starting to set in, so we got the majority of this little area cleared. I'm going to take priority now and head on over there to the burn pile and check out the weather, see how much more rain's coming, and probably go ahead and set that far pile on fire. Then I'll check back at it and kind of see if the weather looks promising enough to come back and possibly set this one on fire. But I really want to focus on getting that side over there cleaned up, because I don't have any more clearing to do over there, and that way I can just pretty much wrap that section of this project up. So let's go check on the fire and see how it's doing, my little one that I started. Well, I'm gonna risk it and go ahead and start this other fire. I'm gonna grab some of this smaller stuff that's burning. Hopefully not. I think we need to high track it. If we do this right, we won't burn our hydraulic hoses. Which means I need to hurry it up a little faster here. Keep the wind blowing. If we spin really fast, it kind of keeps the heat away. Oh, we got fire. Dun, dun, dun. Could this thing go any slower? Don't want to drive into those embers. I think we'll be okay. Come on. Nothing ever dries fast as you want it to when you want it to. Alrighty, let's not melt the bucket. I think we're good. She's steaming a little bit. I'm going to grab some of this nice dry pine trees and a big log that I don't need just yet. But we got it anyways. We're about to have a pretty good fire, I do believe. So this stuff was cleared about a little over 6 months ago. Last September, 7 months ago, I think. So it's going to burn well. Toasty now. Let's see, which way is the wind blowing? I think I need to get over on that side of the pile, because I definitely don't want all that blowing on top of the machine. That didn't take long, did it? See why I decided to go that route now versus standing out here in the rain trying to get a fire started. Might have done this a time or two in my day. Work smarter, not harder. You'll get somewhere in life. Oh wait, I was supposed to chip that, like everybody says I should. Mulch it up. Spend 2 weeks out here trying to chip this pile up. The reason I'm not setting this whole pile on fire right here is because it would literally go up in a god-awful inferno. And I'm also getting it farther away from the tree line. All this was woods when I cleared that, so I didn't really have a choice but to put it right there. But it'll be okay. That way I can mix it with all the stuff I'm clearing, this greener stuff, and it should burn nicely. I don't know, if I get that pile down smaller, I might set it on fire. As you can clearly see, it wouldn't take but a grapple full chunk over there to set it on fire. But my God, it would just burn so fierce. Kind of like that is. All right, let's let that catch up a little bit, and we'll just keep burning along while the weather is being nice. So this is either going to work really good or I'm going to regret it. But I'm going to grab a big grapple full of burning stuff and throw back on this dry pile and set it on fire. Because frankly, I don't feel like moving the whole pile, and I've got that pile burning good enough now. I feel like it's going to burn pretty good now. I did pull down about half the material off of this pile, so it did condense it a little bit, so it's not so huge. But I really don't feel like moving this whole pile of brush. I feel like it's rained enough now that it's okay to set on fire. But I would like for it to hurry up and burn up while we probably got 15-20 more minutes of steady rain. That way it'll hurry up and get the intense part of the burning done while there's rain falling, because it's probably going to be 2 or 3 hours before it really rains again. But luckily the wind appears to be blowing steadily in that direction, so I'll lay some of this nice dry stuff on there, and it ought to go up into an absolute inferno. And then I can just stay over there upwind of it and grab all the stuff that I cleared, just keep laying it on that other pile. It's gonna be a little tippy here. I'm on top of a pile of dirt I pushed up. Trying to get some of this good dry brush. There we go. I think that's going to disappear really quickly. That way I can stay right over here on the uphill or upwind side of that pile and just keep chunking all that stuff on there, and I should really knock a dent in this stuff today. Then I'll keep a look at the radar. If I can get all this stuff burned up, and then when that second band of rain comes through, the wind's still blowing in the same direction, I may set that other pile on fire down there. But for right now, I don't want to try to manage 2 big fires like that at one time. That way I can stay right here and manage this, get all this stuff on fire and cleaned up. Really make good progress today is what I'm hoping for. Trying to actually grab this stuff crisscross from the way I stacked it, but I'll get it. It's not exactly easy because I'm trying to grab it from the ends there, but I don't want to keep tracking all over the world to get that parallel with it. It'll work. No more than it is here. Stuff has a lot of dirt in it because all that bottom junk. So I got to sit here and just kind of pick through it and get the big stuff out. And shake the dirt loose from it. It's the only thing bad about the pine trees is the stuff packs so tight in there with the pine needles and everything, and it doesn't burn the greatest in the world. I really like hardwood trees better because you don't have all the pine needles that get all the dirt in there with it. We are in pine tree country, so we got to deal with pine trees. Somebody said grinding them up and spreading all the mulch. Wouldn't that just put all the acidic wood back into the ground we're trying to avoid? Burning down nicely. I'll let that catch up. Seems like it caught on fire pretty good. I'm gonna go over there and throw a few more things on it. And keep them piled up. Yeah, that should burn on through there pretty good, I think. That old green stuff smokes a little bit, but once it gets hot, it'll... Well, I think that turned out to be a pretty good decision. That one's not really smoking at all. Well, some, obviously. Less than my pile with all the green stuff in it. That way that should burn on down. The rain's kind of dying down a little bit, but it's a good kind of steady little drizzle. That'll sit there and just kind of keep burning on down. Getting smaller and smaller, and I'll run around there and push it up. So I'm about halfway through this windrow right here. I'm gonna keep grabbing it, throwing it over here on the pile, and then see how the wind is, and if it's not blowing too bad, get on the other side and lay that other row up, and this will pretty well all be in a pile and burning by lunchtime, hopefully. Big pile of dry stuff really did not burn that good. I'm actually kind of picking through it right now and getting the stuff that didn't burn and chunking it over here into the other pile where it is burning up pretty nice. I guess there was just enough dirt in there where it won't burn too good. I mean, it burned all the top stuff off, but everything down in the center just didn't really catch on fire. It's just sitting over here smoldering away. Can't get over there to that last brush pile to throw over here because there's just too many ashes and embers blowing on me. So I want to sit right here and just kind of keep picking through this and chunking it on the fire. It's still burning decent on the other side, but it was just a lot of small stuff and roots and mess, and it didn't burn well. good hot fire here, so it seems to eat it up pretty good. If I get my little grapplefulls and just kind of keep chunking them on there. I think what happens is that stuff gets packed down so much it just can't breathe. Instead of just letting it sit here and smoke and be a mess, spend 20 minutes, sort through it, put it on this pile. Yeah, best I remember, there was a lot of little scrub mess right here that I took down, and just so much pine straw and roots and bushes that it's hard to burn this stuff. It's hard to do anything with it. It's really honestly good for nothing. Mulch it down and you just have 10 times more of it the next year. Alright, keep picking away at it. Let this keep burning on down. Well, everything is in that burn pile now. I went ahead and transferred everything from that other one over into this one. It's burning down nicely. I got 3 or 4 more grapplefulls over there, but as bad as the embers are blowing right towards there, I don't want to drive through it. So I'm gonna let this die down for a couple hours and go over here and work a little bit more, eat lunch, and that should die down pretty good by the time the rain gets back this afternoon, and I will kind of see what the weather looks like, if I'm going to set that other brush pile on fire or not. Haven't determined yet. Well, everything's burning down nicely. Nice and hot now. Just grabbing this little bit of stuff around the edges and getting it put into the pile so that it will go ahead and burn down as well. A lot of people think you can just strike a match and walk away. It just doesn't work that way. Just green stuff, you've got to sit here and just kind of keep hemming the pile up. You got to run around and push everything up, take the stuff along the edges and throw it into the center just to kind of restack everything. Try to put all my dirt and roots and stuff that's not going to burn around the edges, so when it's time to clean everything up, I can just kind of mix all that in with the ashes and kind of put some moisture in it so it's not so dusty. I think I'm going to go ahead and grab some coals from that little fire I started this morning, and I think I'm gonna go set that other pile on fire. Got another 4 or 5 hours I can stay down here, and I really think I can get the majority of that burn up the time I have, because I started this one at 8 and it's 1, so that's 5 hours. Pretty impressive how much brush I can burn down in that amount of time. Stay here and keep it piled up. Keep a nice hot fire. Disappears pretty quickly. Let me go grab those and go ahead and see if we can't start the other one on fire. Let's see if I can move this far. Here we go. Wide open. Only got about 400 more feet to go. I think I'll be okay. The big raging flames. About the time I say that, it starts to flame up. Oh yeah. Now we're getting close. Here at lunch. Hopefully that won't go out. Burning so good until I set it down. Pile some of this dry stuff on top of it. I think we'll have a fire here shortly. Grab some of that pine straw over here, and I think that'll catch up. We'll be back in about 5 minutes. Precisely 4 minutes later. Yeah, it's gonna burn. Well, this one's burning a little better than the other ones did. I kind of hope the rain hurry up and gets here. I don't think you quite realize how big that pile is. See if I can get the excavator in it. Still doesn't do it justice. That's probably a 45 foot tall flame. Currently hot enough that the ground 20 feet away is steaming. That's gonna burn down for about an hour, and that pile's pretty much going to be most of the way gone, which will be good because it'll die down enough where I can throw this stuff here on it. If I don't get it all on there, it'll be that much less that I have. That's the whole goal, is to get rid of as much of that as I can. Well, I can just feel the heat from here. But I still got all that stuff I pushed up over there, but the ashes are blowing that way, so I can't go over there right now. Oh well, at least this big pile will be gone. I think we need to back the excavator up a little farther. It's getting a little toasty. You see, the good thing about this brush pile is majority of it was all that big stuff from that ditch line. You see how much better it burns when it doesn't have all that underbrush junk full of dirt in it. That's literally the way I wanted those piles to burn. I couldn't ask for that to go any better. I'm gonna let that die down a little bit and grab that green stuff and throw on there, but shoot, that whole entire pile is smoking less than the little campfire I started. Let's see if we can't get rid of a little bit of this green brush. At least get it on here where it will dry out some. That had a little bit of dirt in it. I'm gonna have to scatter that out some. At least I'm getting rid of this stuff right here. Probably let this burn on down, and I'm gonna go over there and shove up the other pile that I set on fire this morning, because I think this one's gonna burn down before that one does. Well, it is currently monsooning down here. Luckily, got most of that piled up and burnt, but as you can tell, this is why I want to put all that dirt from the pond right here if we ever do it, just to kind of raise this up and get some slope on it, because it's so flat. See how the water just really lays in here and doesn't have a place to go? If I can raise it up and get it sloped a little bit, it ought to drain a little bit better. Well, it's nice and wet down here now. I'm gonna go stack this one up while the other one burns down, but I think you can see kind of why this is where I want to do the pond, because I got all the runoff from up there. You can see just from this rain right here how much water is flowing down through here and down through that ditch. So I feel like if I catch all that, I'll have a pretty good chance of keeping a pond here. It's starting to burn down pretty good. I just went through there and raked all the ashes down, and made a mess of the machine. So I'm going to travel up here and maybe it'll wash it off a little bit and stack this fire up a little bit better. So that little pile is all that's left from all this stuff right here, other than some roots right here. Had that great big pile of dry stuff that was sitting right here. All that's burnt between what I set on fire and transferred over, and I've just kind of been restacking that over and over and over and moving it out of the way. And I took some of those ashes and just kind of flung them all over the place. And when I go through here with the dozer and rake through it, it should just kind of spread those around and get all the sticks and everything out. Plus it's nice and wet, so it'll kind of soak up some moisture and maybe not quite be so dusty when it is time to grade all this out later in the week. Let's go stack up the other fire one more time, and that's it for today as we disappear in the dust cloud. Well, this is it for today. This last pile that I set on fire at lunchtime, if you remember, it came all the way out to that pile right there and somewhere right in here and all the way out to literally like over here. I have burnt all that and transferred all into that one little pile that's left right there. So that's going to sit here and burn down within the next 2 or 3 hours. Everything should be good to go. It's still nice and wet. And that should just be a pile of ashes when I come back later at the end of this week. Yeah, about 2 more hours that'll really burn down pretty good. Alright, well I hope you enjoyed. There's about 1 dump truck load left burning over there, and that's a wrap.